We're going to go from a brand that's been around for 105 years to a brand that's been around for 4 months. So back in October, Kellanova split from the Kellogg cereal brands to focus on its snack portfolio. And they haven't slowed down. They've hit a running start, working with longtime partners Weber Shandwick. Their brands have been taking culture by storm. Maybe you saw the Pop-Tart mascot sacrifice itself at the college football bowl game. Maybe we could have a moment of silence for Strawberry, the Pop-Tart. Thank you. I'd like to welcome to the stage the VP of Marketing at Kellanova, Erin, and the President of Weber Shandwick, Susan Howe.
Can you click? Could you click? Go ahead and click. There's a video. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Morning, everyone. You can hear me. Yes. Okay, yes. Great. So happy to be here. And how lucky am I? I get to spend the morning talking about culture and snacks. I'm even going to throw in a little bit about wine. That's a spoiler alert. Stay tuned for that. I'm Susan Howe, the Global President of the Weber Shandwick Collective, and delighted to be joined by my partner, Erin, who has the best title in the planet because she's VP of Marketing for Salty.
Salty, yes.
Welcome, Erin.
Awesome, thank you. Thrilled to be here. Weber's been amazing partners for us all the way from insights to ideas, so I'm very excited to be able to jointly share some of our great creative work that we've been doing here recently.
So we're going to take you inside, and I'm glad that Chris explained who is Kellanova, because you may have been wondering. And it was a momentous year in 2023, because just over 100 days ago, Kellogg spun Kellanova into its own standalone powerhouse snack company that holds these amazing snack brands.
Yeah, and we talk about, bold new beginnings. This is a new company, less than 4 months. You look at some of those brands up there, Pop-Tarts, Rice Krispie Treats, Pringles, Cheez-It. You just look at the food and you know the brand. No logo required, no packaging required. It's amazing, but these brands are all 60 plus years old, and to be able to keep them relevant for the next 60 plus years is going to be no small task.
Yeah, so I want to go deep on relevance, and it's why all of us are in this room. It's probably a reason why we got up this morning and we get up every day, and really earning our place in the cultural conversation. So we did an in-depth study recently with IPA that really shows that work that creates cultural salience delivers business results. And the findings are really strong and powerful. And we defined cultural salience as work that gets conversation and coverage going. So when you look at these statistics, I think this is what every marketer and business leader is seeking today. 53% more likely to drive business results, 75% more likely to halo across beyond the brand itself, and 2.6 more likely to achieve an increase in profit. And I know all of my clients today are seeking that. And this approach to really be focused on cultural relevance has gotten us to a great place.
Yeah, so we believe, obviously, in the importance of cultural relevance to drive these brands forward, but it's not just a one and done. Chris talked earlier about, it's not just like, oh, I posted something, it was trending, and so I'm done. You really need to stay on the pulse of it, because as we see, culture is moving quickly, and we've got to keep up with it.
We really think about it almost as a buffet, pun intended, since I'm talking about snacks, of all of the ingredients that come together. It's insights, it's AI, it's creativity, it's trends, it's influencer, and you bring that together, and you really are looking for this intersection, this sweet spot of brand equity and cultural demand, and that's what makes it work. And when you bring that together, it creates incredible moments that really break through. And thanks for the moment of silence for strawberry. I hope many of you were able to tune in to the Pop-Tarts Bowl. We created the first ever edible mascot. And if you didn't see the game at the end, ultimately strawberry sacrificed themselves and was devoured by the winning K-State team. But since Erin is the VP of Salty, we're gonna stay in a saltier and cheesier mood today and talk more about those flavors.
Yeah, and while I don't work on the Pop-Tarts brand specifically, kudos to that team, but I'm not sad that I'm not the one that has to top that for next year, because it's gonna be tough. I work on Cheez-It though, and that's part of our portfolio. And we're actually in our 6th year of bowl game execution, and it's really the culmination of our entire experience plan that we have for the college football season. We've actually been running the same creative video asset for the last 6 years on Cheez-It, and to me it's like the M&M's and Santa spot that as soon as you see it, you know it's Christmas time. Well, when you see the Cheez-It spot, you know it's football season. And so, it's really the earned activations that have to bring the idea to life. Within that spot, our brand mascot, who of course is Cheese, as a talking wheel of cheese, and in that spot he says, "I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach." And what we started to see after years of running that, fans started to organically put that on their social feeds, and we said, hey, that's a creative idea that we should jump on. I mean, it's in the behavior of consumers right now. So we started last year. We were actually one of the first brands to get into the NIL space, and we paid college football players to stay in our Cheez-It branded hotel suites so that they could literally wake up feeling the cheesiest the day before their game. And then this year, we kept going with the feeling the cheesiest and did our flexing section. So fans and players alike could, look and feel their cheesiest on game day, because what all good football games need is on the sideline a barbershop, a place for your manis and chetties, and of course a hot tub.
Chetties, make sure. Manis and chetties.
Manis and chetties for the game. So, huge activation for us, 1.4 billion impressions. But the beauty of having Weber work across our whole portfolio, we knew the edible Pop-Tart was coming, and so we even had Chedsy, our mascot, come out with a non-edible mascot, because he does also represent food and was worried about what fans might do to him. So.
Don't eat me. Awesome. Yeah, so I think the point is, and Chris really set the stage here, no matter what your target audience is, if you're going after the college football fans, if you're trying to reach book club moms or Gen Z, bingo there, you need to not be lucky but likely by having a real-time insights processed. And that's one of the greatest things about our partnership is I think you guys are always willing to lean in quickly to react. And that happened recently in a high and lowbrow trend.
Yeah, so I love this activation because it wasn't a brief for a football game that we knew was happening a year out. It was agile, and we were able to beat our competition to it.
When Caviar Top Chip turned up on Real Housewives, then TikTok, Pringles partnered with the fine dining experts at the Caviar Company to bring the world the Crisps and Caviar collection. This high-low pairing was an instant snack sensation. We even leaned into Real Housewives drama to drum up Pringles and Caviar conversation among their cast and diehard fan base.
Caviar and Pringles, you a high-low type chick?
Overall, we generated 2.39 billion impressions and dominated our competitors during the program launch. We even inspired local restaurants and national retailers to sell recreations of the classy combo in their stores, ensuring everyone could experience the fancy and the flavorful.
Yeah, so what you saw from that video is, it started to bubble up on TikTok, and, the Weber team came to us, and we hesitated. We were like, I don't know, this is probably not right for our consumers. So we tested it in a smaller space at Coachella House, and as soon as we saw it gaining traction. We were like, we've got to do something bigger here. So we partnered with the Caviar Co. And these retailed for up to $140. But then we got lucky with the lightning in a bottle, and it was actually featured on Real Housewives of New York. But not just featured, debated, right? And that's what creates conversation. Is like, what? This is an unlikely lowbrow, highbrow pairing here. But honestly, even if it hadn't hit the lightning in a bottle, I think the fact that we were on the pulse, we were seeing how consumers were interacting with our brands, and we were ready to go. Because had we waited until, we had seen it break on Real Housewives of New York and then got together and tried to quickly do something, we would have missed it, or our competitors would have gotten there. So, huge activation here with 2.4 billion impressions and hugely successful.
Yeah, likely and lucky in that case. Yeah. Had the plan, had the muscle, and got lucky.
We made the luck likely.
We made the luck likely. Well said. Okay, so really quickly on this one, and I think this is just a collab, from collab to co-creation. And this is, I promised you wine. So just briefly on wine and cheese and crackers, they go together great. And so we brought club crackers with the butteriest of wines, Chardonnay, and created club crackers infused with Chardonnay. Because surprise, the data told us that the book club reading target liked having wine and cheese. And so we went ahead and built it into the cracker itself.
Yeah, and what I love about this activation is Club is a smaller brand for us. And a lot of times with smaller brands, we think there's not dollars for earned activations, and we tend to depend on more tried and true traditional advertising. But the way I see it is the earned activations actually make your advertising work even harder for you, because you're creating conversation, you're not just talking at consumers. And so, like Susan said, the pairing of butter, wine, and crackers was a great idea to sort of bring that idea to life and get people talking about the brand. So sold out of the product, 500 million impressions, which is huge for a brand the size of Club. But over 77% of those outlets that covered this were outlets that had never talked about the brand before. So getting the brand into places and spaces that traditional advertising would not have gotten us. So overall, hugely successful, but I don't want to talk about all the conversations we had with legal about cooking with alcohol, and whether or not we'd have to card for purchase, but rest assured, the alcohol bakes out in the cooking process, and so everyone can buy it, no ID required. So.
Yeah, awesome. So it's an idea, they went hand in hand, wine, book club, cheese, crackers, snacking goes together. And so this next example is really taking that notion of what goes together and supercharging it. So imagine you are driving down the highway in California and you see this mirage up ahead. It's an absurdly delicious destination.
Through a proprietary social listening tool, Cheez-It uncovered a massive Gen Z passion for road trips. At the start of summer road trip season, we introduced the Cheez-It Stop, a desert outpost that replaced car fuel with snack fuel.
A new pit stop to a national park lets you fill up your car, but not with gas.
A Cheez-It pump shoots free snack packs through your car window.
Inside, you stepped into a nostalgic roadside gift shop. Our FOMO-inducing attraction drew top-tier editors and influencers, further driving social intrigue for the biggest, cheesiest bucket list destination of the summer.
So our creative direction for the core brand is Want It, Need It, Cheese It. We call it Winichi for short. And so our brief to the Weber team was, hey, we've got this creative direction. It's about the absurd lengths people will go for our brand, and we want to bring it to life in an earned activation. And so we briefed Weber to come back with an idea, and...
Right, so how we found this idea was using the Culture Compass, which is an AI-fueled tool that helps sort through the millions of conversations to pinpoint where we can intersect with culture. And we use the Culture Compass in a myriad of ways. It helps us think of product innovations, creative platforms, influencer partnerships, collabs. And in this case, it revealed that Gen Z loves road tripping, and Cheez-Its are an integral part of the best road trips.
Yeah, so once we knew, road trips was the space and we had our Winichi idea, we had to find the location. So a location in the desert is great, but a location with a humongous cowboy, even better. But then we had to make it Cheez-It, right? And so that's where things like the Cheez-It pump came in and all the exclusive merch, because we knew that just the people that attended the event alone was not going to be enough to pay out. So again, we needed to be creating that conversation, things that people were going to want to talk about. So hugely successful, over 1 billion impressions, but actually the traffic on the day of actually exceeded our expectations. expectations. 6 times more traffic than they would get in a normal weekend. 4-hour impromptu road trips, people lining up an hour before we opened. So it was huge, but that's what generated all that conversation and got to those branded impressions for us. So hugely successful. I mean, even Questlove just couldn't get enough of it.
Amazing. All right, we are almost at time, but before we go, that was some super fun work. Thank you so much for the partnership, but I guess I just asked, since this is an exciting time of year, is there anything that you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, it is the ultimate tease season for a big event that's coming on February 11th. So we posted this last week, trying to encourage people to try to guess who our celebrity for our Pringles Super Bowl spot was going to be. So you can take
shout
your
out your ideas.
Yeah, you can take your guesses, but our actual teaser release video is going to drop this afternoon, so keep an eye out for it. But if you're somebody who really likes to be in the know, go take a look at our Pringles Instagram page right now, and you might get a very clear indication of who it's going to be. So we're excited to have that, all that exciting Super Bowl tease stuff coming up soon.
All right, so thanks to all of you, and enjoy the cheese.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.